Hello, welcome back to Tracking Networth with Yappy. I arrived in Aruba, so this is the Aruba apartment. Actually, this is my parents' place. I have a house here too, but I'm currently renting it out, as you will see in a bit. Yeah, and I will be working here for 2.5 months. I actually have a 2-week vacation planned here as well, so it's like a staycation. Even though normally I don't live on Aruba, but I spend here long amounts of time. Yeah, and like the reason I keep do a small vacation like this, like staycation, is because I'm still focusing on paying down debts. Yeah, but I've been going to the nightlife here, and it has been quite enjoyable. I like quite enjoy, even though I go by my on my own. I've not like been interacting much with people, but I'm getting like used to the atmosphere and just going to like bars or whatever, and just getting used to it. Because yeah, I was used to go with friends when I lived in the Netherlands, but when I'm in foreign places, it's like difficult to get that started without if you don't know anyone. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, that's like the personal stuff, and yeah, I continued also restructuring the company. So the accountants are still working on it, and the advisor comes with all these like crazy tax sheets or whatever, and I check them and just ask him a bunch of questions to make sure that I understand what's going on. I think I do, but yeah, it's like a lot of details that I mostly don't care about. That's why you have these people, right? Finally, I also opened the proposal for the Cable XZ printer, but the executive director of the Haskell Foundation let me know that the Haskell Foundation actually doesn't have any money. So we agreed upon that I'll finish the proposal, and then we either wait until they do have money, or we find a sponsor, a company that wants to sponsor directly. I think this may happen because this is an issue that a lot of people are annoyed by. So there may be like people that just want to support this. Also, the guy I hired to, which I intended for this to finish, he quit. So he found another job that was like paying a lot better than I was, because I was just paying like Dutch salary essentially, and he's an American, so it was a bit little for him. But I didn't have more to spend anyway. So yeah, but I don't really mind that he quit, because the proposal is a bit in up the air right now. We're gonna finish it or not. I think we are, but we'll see. But managing someone like that is also a bit stressful, because it usually happened outside of my working hours, so I couldn't like have off time. So that's like something I'm learning now, that I should be careful hiring people. But he cleared most of my pressing concerns I had with other projects, so that's good. Like he basically finished the startup in a way such that I can sell it, which is good. Yeah, for now I won't like hire anyone until I actually have way too much work on my hands. I learned that you shouldn't hire too soon. Also, it was like pressing my bottom line essentially, which we'll see, because I had to pay him this month as well. So let's switch to the Excel spreadsheet. Yay, we're back to Excel. Everyone loves this. Yeah, I forgot to close the tabs. Okay, so like this is I made a new tab for the Excel spreadsheet, financials one, which is about income. And the first one is the income I get from writing software. So this is like a long-term contract I have at some company, writing software for them, and they pay me fixed amount per month. So it's I guess like it's similar to employment, except I pretend I'm a company. I have to invoice them. Yeah, but it used to be short term, so I used to get like 14-15K a month, but we rolled it over into long term contract, so I don't have to find some other employer meanwhile. But yeah, I mean, this is by Dutch standards, it's a really, really good salary. Yeah, and like what I usually do is I'll work for a company for like 1 or 2 years, and then I move on. But we'll see how long this lasts. Anyway, the business expenses. I mean, I quite like enjoying people. The business expenses are high this month because, like I mentioned, I dealt with the people restructuring the company. Furthermore, I also got like an $1,800 invoice of the employee I had, which won't happen in the future anymore. So in fact, we can expect next month the business expense to be around like 200 euros, something like 500 euros. It wouldn't be high. I don't have a lot of expenses actually, because I'm just like, writing software. So only if something breaks, there will be an expense. Okay, so for taxes, I just took like, what did I do? Like 37%, right? And this would be my guess around how much income tax I'm pay. It could be, because I'm restructuring my company, this probably will be a lot lower actually, because I will just postpone paying taxes. That's like the entire stick we're putting up here. We'll postpone paying taxes, we'll keep the money in the company instead of making it all private. That's what's happening right now. That's why I have such high taxes. Okay, cool. And then like we got the Airbnb income. So I got around 5,000 euros in payouts from Airbnb. This is for 2 properties. And for the one property in the Netherlands, that's like the house I live in, I rent out rooms. That's just like some extra income. I started in Corona time, I had the house, I had extra space. It's like, okay, what will I do with it? Oh, I really loved Airbnb when I was in Australia. Let's try setting this up. That's what I did. And yeah, it has been running ever since. So that's really good. And then I also have the property here in Aruba, which is actually like it makes more money, but it also has like much higher expenses, which we will see in a bit. But yeah, in total, I got 5,000 euros in payout, which I think is a bit high this month. It will be lower probably next month and the month after. So the first expense is the manager cost. So I have a property manager here in Aruba for if I'm not here. So I have to pay like a percentage of the income and the cleaning costs also for her. So yeah, that's like some fixed cost I have. And I asked around for other prices, but they will be around the same. So yeah. And then we got like the running cost. This is things like water, electricity, pest control, all that kind of stuff. And you may think like, oh wait, that's actually like a lot for just a house. And that's because this island is expensive. So yeah, I spent 880 on just running it. Oh, and a large part of this as well is the septic tank, so 160 euros for emptying the septic tank, because it has happened multiple times a month, and we're doing something about that. Yeah, so over time, these costs have been coming down because I installed solar panels and I did all kinds of backflips to try and reduce this, but yeah, we're still working on it. Then, I got like my normal living expenses at like 1,600 euros about. This is me essentially, aside from going to this island, the airplane ticket would be a business expense for me, but I don't really like eat out a lot or do anything fancy. It's just, me living, but yeah, the island expenses. That's why it's higher. In Netherlands, it would be more around 1,000, I think. But yeah, it's 1,500 for now. It may be a bit higher than this even, but yeah. I don't think this is a problem. Like I could do more detailed budgeting, but I don't think I'm out of control or like overspending. And in fact, I should be going out more and spend more on going out. But yeah, debt payments. So debt payments is 2,380, and this is for one mortgage on my home in the Netherlands, which is like 570, and then the house in Aruba is 1,750 euro a month. And then there's another like debt I have to pay for making the house more green, like insulating it and whatever. I got like a 0% loan on that, which is wonderful. It's like 53 one here. So yeah, I have to pay that every month. And this is why I want to focus on getting the debts down, because my monthly payments on debt exceed my living expenses by quite a large margin. So yeah, if I could get rid of that 1,750, that would be amazing, and I wouldn't have a lot of expenses at all. But I'm working on that. It takes time. I have to grind through it. Other is nothing, and then this means that in our net take-home pay, like the money that's like essentially left for saving and investment or whatever is 4,300 euros. So this is what's going into saving up for paying. Yeah, we're gonna like send this to well, actually what's happening is that I'm currently keeping it into my business account because I'm not sure if I can like actually send it to my private accounts yet, because we're doing this separation between private and business, like a very formal separation, so the tax is aware of it. So it's currently staying in my business account, but what will happen eventually is that I'm gonna use this money to pay down the debt. I have to pay taxes on it, and the details around it are a bit fuzzy for me now. So I just like kind of do nothing with the money because I don't know what will happen. But yeah, I'll know more about it in like 2 or 3 months, and that's fine. You know, meanwhile it can just stay in a bank account. It's safe. I don't get any interest on it, but it's fine. It's only for a couple of months. Okay, so moving on to well, this is the balance sheet, right? So this is the actual net worth part, and I just like went over how much cash I have. So I actually have 63 euros, as in like, you know, notes and whatever. I got around 20 euros in dollars, and this is just money I got back when going to the bar, because I didn't get any dollars ever from I get the local currency. I get this one, AWG, which is the Aruban currency. That's what I get from the wall because I have like an Aruban bank account. But then, you know, I would go to the nightlife and, you know, get one drink. That's what I've been doing, one drink. It's like, ooh, party. Yeah. And I get dollars back from them because they need to get rid of their dollars, right? They need local currency, and the tourists only pay in dollars. So they gave me dollars back. Anyway, on the checking account from ABN, which is the Dutch account I'm trying to close, and I've seen like one of the first payments actually being moved finally over to the new ING account, which is good. So slowly payments are starting to get moved over. Like they had some supposedly service that would do it for me, but I haven't actually seen it happen in practice. Yeah, and then we got CMB. This is the Aruban bank account, and I think I increased this a little bit. So what happened is that I got a bunch of extra payments from people who wanted to rent my place, but they didn't want to go through Airbnb for various reasons. It's usually to save costs, actually, but or another reason would be that they don't want to pay everything up front, and I say like, okay, you can pay like, because they would like want to rent for 1 or 2 months, and it's like too much money for them. But I want to make sure that they actually are coming, so I want to have some money up front. So if they want to rent it for 2 months, I say like, okay, you can do 20%, which would end up being like 1,000 euros. Anyway, all that money I sent over to CMB because the currency exchange rate was high, and I was like taking advantage of the situation. So, I mean, I don't get any interest on this account either. However, if the exchange rate is good, it may still make sense to move it over because this account is slowly being drained by utilities. So eventually this will go to zero if I don't send any money over. Then we got savings account. So this moved down drastically. We can scroll up a little bit. Yeah, so I sent over like 2,000 euros to CMB. There's like 1,500 euros left because we paid utilities. For savings, this has dropped drastically because I pay taxes. Yeah, the reason I pay taxes is because I don't want to have any debt with the tax service because they have even worse interest rates than I'm currently paying. And then the business account, which is growing because, you know, I'm only checking out the minimal. So most of the money that's coming in will stay there. Interactive brokers, this will become a business account as well. So the reason is that with interactive brokers, I have a bunch of stocks in Russian oil companies, and there is a significant chance, in my opinion, that these will be seized by the government, by the Russian government, and that would be a giant loss. So what I can do right now is sell this brokerage account entirely to my new company. So I have less income this year, so I have to pay less income tax. And if it actually gets seized by the government, by the Russian government, I would have a loss in the company. So I would have to pay less corporate tax, which would be good. But if it doesn't get seized, I don't mind either way because I need to reduce my taxes right now. That's like really important. Yeah. I need to solve my issues for now. So yeah, like just having this immediate tax alleviation would be nice. That's why I'm selling it. Okay, the pension has gone down a little bit. I think it's just the S&P going up and down, or it may also be exchange rate. I'm not sure actually, because I have the ETF in euros, but underwater there's of course like an exchange rate. I just don't have to like care about it. The pension I just copied from the last time. It doesn't move a lot anyway. So oh right, big news. Superseed the fundraise completed. So we see that I asked the CEO about what's the share price, and I just calculated it myself. And apparently the share price is 2.51, and then we have to multiply it with the pound to euro exchange rate. And then the house is still the same. This will only update in January next year. Yeah, this is the improvements I made to the house. This is the house in Aruba. I mean, I think I mentioned it last time, but this is probably way higher. So student debts are slowly creeping up, but you know, it's such a low percentage that I don't mind. Deferred income. Right, this is the taxes. I should set aside this amount every month to make sure I can pay taxes. So I mean, I haven't strictly done that. The money is there. It's just on the business account, and I'm not sure how to move it out. And I'm not sure how high this actually will be. I've been assuming 3,000 euros a month. I think it will be less this time around. I know by the end of this year how much income tax I have to pay and how much other taxes I have to pay. But it will be I'm pretty sure it will be a lot less than 36,000 I've been assuming, because I'm not gonna like evict any more money this year. Essentially, like I'm gonna keep it all in the company. And we're only gonna emit dividend from the BV, from the limited liability company I'm created, until I can pay down one of these debts. Yeah, until I can pay payroll mortgage 2. If I can pay down this in one go, I'm gonna evict the tax, but I'm gonna calculate this to include the amount of money required to pay taxes for that. So I'm gonna save up. Probably in this case, I have to pay 20% tax on that because of the new structure. Blah blah blah. I already would have paid 15%, and then I need to, like, once I get the dividends out, I need to pay another 20% tax on the dividends. So I need to have this number and then 20% higher. So I need to have like around 50,000 euros saved up in the company account. I'm gonna like move that out in one go, and then 20% will go to tax, and then I can pay this off in one go. And I cannot like pay it down earlier because this is not a bank. This is like my father. I just want to do it in one go, essentially. I think it will be too complicated if I do earlier payments. Like, who is gonna track how much there's left and whatever? So no, we're just gonna do it in one go, I think. And this doing it in one go also helps me with figuring out the taxes, because it will be complicated and I don't know the situation right now. So I'm just like keeping all the money on the account, and yeah, there's just so much uncertainty right now around it because I'm restructuring. Right. So this is the temporary loan. This is like the money they paid me for going into the Airbnb, but they haven't been into the Airbnb yet. So this is essentially them loaning me money at 0%, which is fine. I don't mind. What I've been doing with the money is send it to the savings account, which is 4% or 3.75% savings account. Anyway, if we take all that stuff into account, we can see that compared to last time, our assets have remained the same, and essentially the liabilities have gone down by a lot. And our debt ratio has been lower. It has never been this low, I think. No, it has never crossed 0.5. So we're slowly getting out of debt, which is good. And if I look to the other numbers, my net worth without houses is also going up, which is nice. My high yield debt is actually going down, but the percentage of total liabilities is going up. So out of all my debts, more relatively is high yield. And that's because we have not paid down high yield debt, but we have paid down 0% deferred income tax. However, this is a bit of a lie, because what would have happened if I didn't pay the 0% income tax right now is it would have moved to become 7.5 or 10% yielding debt instead, because the tax service likes to charge a lot of interest on late payers. So this is why I asked the accountant to make sure that I don't have to pay any interest, and he delivered. So that's really good. So in fact, like, what would have happened if 30K would have moved from 0% to high yield? This number would have gone back to 120, which would mean we will be back at 40%. So yeah, like, the only thing we could have done in this case was pay off the tax man. Yeah, I'm really happy with these changes that, the assets are remaining similar and liabilities are going down. So, we're paying off debt. But it feels really good that we're finally getting ahead of this. These income tax payments have been on my mind for such a long time. It's good.